Breaking news for basketball fans, how the coronavirus is drastically changing March Madness, plus what we know on OU's plan for classes after spring break, and a Hollywood mogul finds out how much time he'll spend in prison. This is OU Nightly.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Cal Day.
And I'm Taylor Wynn. We begin tonight with breaking news concerning the coronavirus.
That's right. Just moments ago, the NCAA announced major changes to its annual college basketball tournament. The men's and women's basketball tournaments will be held without fans because of the risk of the coronavirus. Only essential staff and limited family attendance and some media representatives will be allowed inside. The March Madness tournament for men gets underway March 17th inside venues all over the country.
Also breaking today, the World Health Organization officially called COVID-19 a pandemic. WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus says this is not a term used lightly. In fact, this is the first coronavirus to be declared a pandemic. This comes as more than 118,000 cases of the virus in over 110 countries and territories have been announced. President Donald Trump will address the nation on the pandemic tonight in a primetime TV address. And students and faculty here at OU are still waiting on school leaders to make a decision on how classes will proceed after spring break. A university spokesperson says they are closely monitoring the spread of COVID-19 and coordinating with state government officials. We learned from a group from OU's Norman and Tulsa campus, as well as the Health Science Center in Oklahoma City, have been in daily contact with medical professionals and state officials since January.
Yeah, the OU Board of Regents briefly discussed the topic in a meeting on Tuesday, but no decision was made. However, while input from the regents is key, no vote is necessary to move to classes to an online setting. The University of Tulsa made the announcement last night that all of their classes would move online effective immediately until April after several cases were discovered in Tulsa County. And in addition to TU, other universities across the country are also heeding the call for social distance in an effort to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Athena Jones reports students at Harvard University have been told to pack up and move out.
As Harvard's campus empties out at the end of this week for spring break, students living on campus are being asked by the university to pack up their things and leave until further notice.
They're making us move out by Sunday morning at 5 p.m. from all the dorms. But I think we have to stay calm, and that's what we're doing.
Harvard's decision to move all in-person classes online was not taken lightly, the university president says. In a letter to the Harvard community, President Lawrence Bacow tells students, "We are doing this not just to protect you, but also to protect other members of our community who may be more vulnerable to this disease than you are."
I definitely understand the precaution. It's definitely coming from like a young person who maybe the corona threat isn't as pressing for me, upsetting that I maybe won't be able to finish my freshman year the way I wanted to, but I also like sympathize and understand like where the university is coming from.
Massachusetts Institute of Technology announced similar measures Tuesday afternoon. From coast to coast, schools are having in-person classes taught remotely, including schools like Stanford, Ohio State University, and Syracuse. Schools are heeding the advice of top infectious disease experts to take caution with high population areas where the disease can move quickly.
Start seriously looking at this kind of mitigation. They call it social distancing, but it's common sense stuff. You don't want to go to a massive gathering, particularly if you're a vulnerable.
K-12 schools are also temporarily closing in some districts across the country, including some Chicago public schools, Fulton County schools in the Atlanta area, and the North Shore School District in Western Washington.
That was Athena Jones reporting, who also says that authorities are closing areas where large crowds tend to gather for cleaning.
And while some schools have taken measures to keep students at a distance from each other, many are holding meetings after meeting trying to come up with a plan. According to the United Nations, 39 countries have announced school and university closures. However, some OU professors have taken matters into their own hands and have already made the switch.
What I was trying to do is offer as many options of accessing the material and the content as possible so they could make choices. And I realized it really didn't have a huge impact on the course. It's not the same, but given the outcome, I think it's worth making that decision.
OU will not be canceling classes, but rather offering online learning options. Again, there is still no word on a plan for how many classes will proceed at the University of Oklahoma after spring break.
Well, across the country, cases are being diagnosed at a growing pace. Here's a look at just how many states have reported cases of COVID-19. It creates serious concern among some people, but others are not so worried. How you react to this pandemic could be based on your politics. OU Nightly's Brooke Murski joins us now to explain more. Brooke.
Cal, according to a new survey, Democrats appear to be more concerned about the spread of coronavirus than Republicans. MarketWatch reports that more than half of Republicans believe the seriousness of COVID-19 is generally exaggerated. Democrats are more likely to take precautions against the virus. However, 75% of both Democrats and Republicans said they would follow a federally mandated 2-week self-quarantine if exposed to the disease. Others claim it violates their personal rights. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says more cases of COVID-19 are likely to be identified in the coming days in the U.S. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Brooke. A U.S. Congresswoman is pushing for the Capitol to be closed due to concerns around the coronavirus. Sinclaire Jacobs has the story and the rest of today's headlines from around the world in today's News Center. Sinclaire.
Thanks, Taylor. The coronavirus has infected more than 115,000 people and killed 4,200 people worldwide. With the coronavirus being declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization, U.S. Congresswoman Dianne Feinstein, who is the oldest member of the Senate, believes the Capitol should be closed down briefly. Feinstein thinks for the protection of Capitol employees, it should not be required to come into work, but they can if they choose to. On Capitol Business Matters, Feinstein responds by saying, "I don't think there's anything that's all that important." And the Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to remain in Mexico's asylum policy to stay in effect for now. This decision comes after the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the policy illegal last month. The policy, officially known as Migrant Protection Protocols, mandates that non-Mexican asylum seekers return to Mexico as they await hearings in the U.S. This policy has resulted in hundreds of migrants living in unsafe conditions, and the Justice Department said it is gratified with the court's action. And a New York judge sentences Harvey Weinstein to 23 years in prison. Weinstein has been found guilty of committing a criminal sex act in the 1st degree and rape in the 3rd degree. Though 4 other women testified, the charges were based on the testimonies of Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann. Defense attorney Donna Rotuno believes that Weinstein did not receive a fair trial.
That sentence that was just handed down by this court was obscene. That number was obnoxious. There are murderers who will get out of court faster than Harvey Weinstein will.
Weinstein is facing rape charges and other sexual assault charges in Los Angeles. Prosecutors there are waiting for the New York case to wrap up before moving forward. And Taylor, the Dow drops more than 1,400 points after the coronavirus was declared a pandemic. The final numbers from Wall Street are coming up in a few moments. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sinclaire. And it was a picture-perfect day with lots of sunny skies outside today, huh?
Oh, it was beautiful. The best you could ask for. Hannah Scholl's actually outside. She's got a live look at our first forecast this evening. Hannah.
Hi, Cal and Taylor. It is absolutely beautiful out here. I decided to get out and enjoy it. It was sunny, but we have some clouds coming over right now. Currently 77 degrees here in Norman, and temperatures across the state are generally in the mid to low 70s. A little bit cooler on the Panhandle, 70 in Guyman, 76 here in Norman, 75 in Oklahoma City right now. But coming up, we have some big changes coming our way. Thursday is looking nice for us still, but we have a big cool down coming, and then also a long rainy stretch. So I'll have your full forecast a little bit later, but for now, back to you all in the studio.
And results from the annual World Climate Report for 2019 are in. What experts are saying about the Earth's climate when OU Nightly continues.
Plus, an unpleasant smell might just be the first sign that spring has sprung when OU Nightly continues.
The World Meteorological Organization released their annual report for the climate for 2019. Martin Lowrimore has the details with this week's Earth Report. Martin.
Thanks, Taylor. The world is warming. There's no denying that. But every year, the World Meteorological Organization publishes the annual Global Climate Report, just to make sure. The climate is curated by some of the best meteorologists and climatologists across the globe, with thousands of data points sprinkled across the world. Looking into the report, this was the second warmest year on record for the global average temperature, at 1.71 degrees Fahrenheit above the average since 1880, and it's only been beaten by 2016 at 1.78 degrees above average. North America was one of the relatively coolest parts of the world due to the cold wave we experienced early this year, with record-shattering lows across Canada and the US, but the rest of the world was not as much. Europe and South America had its second warmest year on record, with Oceania having its warmest year on record. The oceans are also holding a lot more heat than it ever has, which will have a more lasting effect on the climate. We also saw a very wet year, both here and across the world. Luckily, the report has been known to jumpstart some changes, so hopefully we see a few of those coming soon. Cal and Taylor, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Martin. Now, as spring approaches, you may have begun to notice an unsettling smell in the air. While most trees haven't sprung to life yet, Bradford pears are in full bloom. They're certainly pretty, but the odor of the blossoms is extremely unpleasant. Several of the trees planted close together can even become overpowering. Bradford pear trees are actually considered an invasive species, as it can cross-pollinate with every other type of ornamental pear tree.
Learn something new every day.
Right, and the coronavirus continues to affect all kinds of events across the world.
Now, coming up, find out which popular Houston event is closing its pens. Plus, Hannah is tracking a change in her extended forecast when OU Nightly continues.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Hannah Scholl with your weather for today. Looking outside, we have some partly cloudy skies at 75 degrees and sunny. We have winds out of the east-northeast at 8 miles per hour, and it's feeling nice and comfortable out there because the dew point isn't too high. So tonight we're pretty uneventful, 68 to start off your evening, and then cooling to 61 by midnight. And then tomorrow, another uneventful day, but it's going to be beautiful, so make sure you get outside because we do have some big changes coming our way. So tomorrow, starting off your day at 63, warming up to the mid-70s and 76 for your afternoon. So across the state, temperatures are going to be much like today, even a little bit higher than today. 76 in Norman, 74 in Oklahoma City, 71 in Elk City, and even in the 80s down in the southeastern portion of the state. But again, let's talk about those big changes coming for you on Friday. So here we have your satellite and radar going through your day on Thursday, but then Thursday evening is when the rain is going to start. So checking out all this green stuff down here, that's rain at 10 p.m. on Thursday evening. And then so as you go through your night on Thursday, that's just going to continue to advance up the southern part of the state. We have some more heavy rain coming for McAllister, Idabel, Ardmore. This is Friday morning. So if you're headed out the door Friday, if you're traveling, maybe headed out the door for spring break a little bit early, this is all going to be affecting you if you happen to be driving on Friday morning. So Friday throughout the day, we just have some scattered showers and storms as you go throughout your day. And then this is Saturday at 12 a.m. So overnight, Friday into Saturday, we have some heavier pockets of rain in the western part of the state, Woodward, Elk City. You can see that, and Ardmore also has a cell coming their way Friday into Saturday. But if we take a look at the 7-day forecast, tomorrow's the only day that doesn't have some rain on it. Let's look at the rest of your 7-day. Look at all that rain. 53, we have a huge temperature drop Thursday into Friday, and then look at all that rain. We're back into the 60s, but there is rain and thunderstorms for almost every single day. And yeah, so.
It seems like right when we get used to the really nice weather, the really beautiful weather, throw all that rain at us.
It wasn't my fault. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Thanks, Hannah. And reactions out of Houston are unhappy after rodeo goers learn of its closure due to COVID-19. The Houston Livestock Stock Show and Rodeo is the nation's biggest stock show, with people traveling from all over the country to attend. In a statement, the Rodeo Committee says the city and health department have ordered the show to close, and they will respectfully comply with the order. OU Nightly spoke with one livestock exhibitor who said she's very disappointed.
We came in at 5:30 and had to set everything up, had to get all the heifers in. We had to put all the mats down, put the fans up, do everything. We're all tired. We're all sleep deprived. It kind of feels like it's all for nothing,
Officials with the rodeo told exhibitors that they have until 4 p.m. today to leave with all their animals intact.
Oh, wow. Well, the Sooners' regular season is over and the postseason is just getting underway.
That's right. Abbi Bennett joins us now as OU is headed to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament.
The men's basketball team tips off against West Virginia tomorrow for their first game of the Big 12 tournament. Plus, spring sports are in danger with the coronavirus outbreak. Stick around because sports is straight ahead. Welcome back to OU Nightly. In the wake of March Madness being closed to fans, the Ivy League has canceled all spring sports. With Ivy League teams holding 3 of the top 5 spots in the most recent men's lacrosse rankings, this move carries major implications for that particular sport. And today was Pro Day here at OU. Our reporter Sydney Baulier was able to check it out. Sydney, what went down?
Thank you, Abby. OU Pro Day has come and gone in Norman, but the Sooners showed out for the Scouts. All 32 NFL teams were in the house to be impressed, but also former Sooners Kyler Murray and Marquise Hollywood Brown showed up to get a sneak peek at the action. Although all eyes were focused on one-year QB Jalen Hurts as well as solid wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. All Sooners participating in Pro Day were locked in and ready to be noticed. Big man Neville Gallimore impressed scouts with his on-field drills, while Nick Basquin put up a great performance all day. We got a little deja vu seeing Jalen throwing deep to CeeDee, and at the end, Lincoln Riley spoke a bit about the importance of Pro Day to the athletes.
I know that their school's Pro Day is going to be the very best one, so we've continued to get great feedback on it. We continue to try to find ways to make it better. We've added a few things over the last few years that have received great feedback, and we've got one of the elite facilities in the country to house it in.
The NFL draft begins on April 23rd, and we are looking forward to seeing where the Sooners are going to end up. Back to you.
Thank you, Sydney. Now sticking with the Big 12, OU men's basketball will tip off against West Virginia tomorrow and Kansas City for their first game in the Big 12 tournament. OU has defeated the Mountaineers 2 times this season. Here are Lon Kruger's thoughts on the tournament.
It helps. I mean, every time you win a ball game, it feels a little better. Yet we'll approach everyone like we have all year in terms of always needing one more. So West Virginia will do the same thing, I'm sure. So it'll be a big-time battle.
A win would put OU in the Big 12 semifinals for the first time since 2016. And now it is time for this week's Whiner of the Week. When you hit a game-winning shot to all but guarantee your team an NCAA tournament bid after being down 20 points, you would think no one would blame you for being excited. Unfortunately for Austin Reeves, his Vince Carter-like celebration didn't go over well with the Big 12 office. The conference issued a public reprimand of Reeves, saying his actions were contrary to the Big 12 sportsmanship standards. First, no field storming, now this. Does Bob Bowlesby just hate fun?
It looks like it, I guess. I mean, that was such a remarkable career game for him, and then he gets a reprimand.
Exactly.
You hate to see it.
I know.
Thanks, Abby. And coming up, a Richmond officer gets recognition for something you probably wouldn't expect.
That's right. Find out why his video has received over 1 million views on social media.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Natalie Brown with breaking news from the OU Nightly Update Desk. We have learned that just minutes ago, the University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond announced that it will move to online-only learning immediately following spring break due to the coronavirus. Also breaking, fellow Big 12 schools, Texas Christian University in Fort Worth and Baylor University in Waco announced it will also hold classes online. All campuses are on spring break next week and will resume virtual learning on March 23rd. So far, there is no announcement on how the University of Oklahoma will proceed when students here return from spring break. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Natalie. And a Virginia police officer is learning firsthand just how powerful social media can be these days.
In my darkness, my strength when I'm weak.
Richmond officer Mervyn Mayo uploaded a video of him singing his own rendition of The Best of Me on Facebook.
Yeah, he was expecting to get just a few likes, but that wasn't the case. The video has now been viewed by more than 1 million people. And man, he had some chords there. That was pretty good.
Those were some pipes.
I don't know about about Facebook. Maybe American Idol. I don't know if he needs to be going back to working the beat in the police department,
Right.
but that was pretty
He's
good.
got a
wasn't
plan
it?
B. He's got a plan B.
That's right. Well, thanks. And thank you for joining us for OU Nightly on this Wednesday evening.
Be sure to tune in every weekday live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.